Angel Reese's plan to build a WNBA super team in Chicago is quickly falling apart.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that.
While Reese promised to turn Chicago into a powerhouse, the reality is that free agents are choosing teams with stronger leadership, a winning culture, and real championship potential.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come.
What went wrong? Why are so many players rejecting Reese's pitch? Let's dive into the drama unfolding in Chicago, where Reese's dreams of a super team are starting to slip away.
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
I feel like Baltimore here. I love it here. It does.
Kind of. A little bit. A little DMV action. Yeah. But Chicago is a #3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all have everything here. Like, it's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for it. Like, everything is here.
And Reese seems to be struggling with a shift in the spotlight. It's hard not to notice how Caitlin Clark has captured the public's attention. The Iowa sharpshooter's deep range, dazzling court vision, and ability to dominate in every game have made her the talk of the offseason. Now, she's leading the Indiana Fever's rebuild, and players are flocking to her side as they aim to join her in making the Fever a force in the WNBA. It's a tough situation for Angel Reese. She's proven herself to be one of the best in the game, and it must be frustrating to see free agents bypass her when building championship contenders. Reese has the skill, drive, and leadership qualities that any team would want. Yet it feels like the spotlight is shifting elsewhere.
For the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
Angel Reese confidently declared she was going to build a super team in Chicago. But now, as free agency unfolds, the only thing the Sky have managed to build is a roster full of question marks. Maybe there was still hope. Maybe Reese had something up her sleeve that no one saw coming. But now, with most of the big names already settling into new homes, it's impossible to ignore the truth. Chicago was never a destination for top-tier talent. Reese's grand recruiting plan wasn't just a setback. It was a full-on disaster.
Not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, like normally journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want her fired.
The dream of building a super team in the Windy City has crumbled, and with it, any immediate hopes for championship contention. It's a tough day for the Chicago Sky, and things are only getting worse. A credible WNBA journalist, known for being impartial and not caught up in the homerism that often clouds coverage, reported something that has Sky fans fuming.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
To make matters worse, the Sky front office hasn't exactly been a help to Reese's efforts. Their leading scorer, Kennedy Carter, didn't even receive a qualifying offer, sending a clear message. Chicago isn't serious about keeping its best players, let alone attracting top-tier talent. And those trade rumors? They fizzled out quickly, going absolutely nowhere. It's almost as if the moment Reese tried to sell the vision of a super team, free agents wanted nothing to do with it. Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, said the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff, and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
So, where does this leave Angel Reese, the supposed superstar? Leading a team of role players and rookies, not the powerhouse she envisioned. What went wrong? Top free agents saw Chicago as a place lacking stability, leadership, and a true championship shot. While Reese hyped up the sky, other teams, like the Aces and Sparks, made moves that left Chicago in the dust. The Aces made a huge trade for Jewel Lloyd, while Chicago's struggles continued. Instead of attracting stars, Reese's plan has fallen flat, leaving her with a rebuilding team and a harsh reality check. First, there's Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooter who was key to Las Vegas's back-to-back championships. Well, she's heading to Los Angeles, making the Sparks a serious contender. Why LA over Chicago? Simple. Elite coaching, a front office that knows what it's doing, and a franchise that isn't in chaos. Sorry, Angel. But if that stung, what happened with Jewel Lloyd must have been downright humiliating. Lloyd, a Chicago native, had the perfect chance to return home and play for her city. If playing with Angel Reese was as appealing as it seemed, this should have been a no-brainer. Instead, Lloyd took one look at the Sky's situation and bolted straight to Las Vegas, teaming up with Asia Wilson. She chose championships over the mess in Chicago. The Indiana Fever have now become the golden destination, and I can't help but laugh at all the fans, online commentators, and media who once claimed that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. Clearly, that narrative has been flipped on its head. So, what does all of this mean? It means Angel Reese talked a big game, but the real stars weren't listening. Not only did top free agents reject Chicago, but they actively strengthened the teams that will stand in the Sky's way. It's almost like they all saw the writing on the wall and decided to avoid the drama before it even started. But hold on, there's one more move that might just be the final dagger in Angel Reese's so-called super team dreams. Want to hear more? Angel Reese once boasted about turning Chicago into a super team, but now she's left staring at empty lockers and unanswered texts. The reality is setting in. Her dream of recruiting top-tier talent is quickly turning into a nightmare. What was supposed to be an all-star squad is starting to feel more like a pickup team at the local YMCA. Just trying to give myself some grace, because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet. But also kind of patting myself on the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great. Unfortunately for Reese, it looks like her dream of building a championship team in Chicago might be slipping away. The lack of elite talent in the Sky's practice facility. Did you know that Chicago's current setup is like practicing in a high school gym compared to the rest of the WNBA? While teams like the Fever, Liberty, and Aces are training in state-of-the-art facilities, the Sky are stuck in a time warp. And that highly anticipated new facility won't be ready until 2026. In a league growing faster than ever, that might as well be a decade away. Every woman should be able to step into a locker room that feels like a safe space, or walk into a gym at 3 in the morning if she wants to put in extra work. It's about providing an environment where players can thrive. And the Sky are falling short of that. Things only get worse when you look at their record. Remember when the Sky were playoff contenders? Last season, they collapsed harder than a cheap lawn chair, finishing with 13 wins and 27 losses, their worst record since 2020. And this was after adding a so-called generational rookie in Angel Reese. Turns out, hype doesn't win games. As Reese said, "It's just been great being able to see my impact on and off the court, and not just in sports, but just being able to be a cultural impact as well." But while her cultural impact is undeniable, the Sky's on-court results have been a far cry from what was promised. It gets even messier. Reports say the Sky's locker room is a reality TV show, with Angel Reese stirring the pot. Instead of attracting free agents, she's repelling them. Gabby Williams turned down her pitch, and even Kennedy Carter had harsh words for Reese before leaving. The Sky's front office is equally unstable, like a revolving door. No wonder free agents avoid them. While teams like the Fever are building dynasties, the Sky can't even get players to return their calls. Is this Angel Reese's doing? Her me, always me persona might be the problem. She claims to be the WNBA's biggest draw, but reality begs to differ. The true star is Caitlin Clark, whose impact has been undeniable. Despite Reese's claims of elevating the league, it's clear that Clark's influence has carried the WNBA, while Reese's popularity doesn't quite match the hype. Angel Reese and the Sky are on the court, but the seats are emptier than a high school study hall during summer break. TV ratings? Let's just say you'd have better luck finding a hit on public access television. But when Clark and the Fever roll into town, suddenly, it's standing room only. The contrast? Embarrassing. Reese defenders might argue, but Angel is a double-double machine. She's a rebounding force. Sure, she's collecting boards, but when it comes to collecting fans? Not so much. The Sky's attendance numbers tell a story, and it's not exactly one for the bestseller list. The demand just isn't there. Not for Angel, not for the Sky. Now, jealous WNBA players have a chance to earn that credit themselves, while Angel Reese and others will test their star power. Yes, unrivaled is, well, unrivaled in being unwatched. Let's be real. If you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament, you've got nothing. Zero. Zip. Nothing. So, what does all of this mean for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky? Pressure. Lots of it. With no big-name free agents coming to help, Reese will have to back up all that talk. Can she actually become the face of the league like she claims? Or is she about to be left holding an empty roster and an even emptier promise? Time will tell, but it's looking like Reese's dreams of a WNBA super team are slipping further and further away. The question is, can she turn it around, or will she be remembered as just another self-promoter who never delivered?